Hello, welcome everyone to this live webinar on LinkedIn. We love doing this because we think that LinkedIn is very flexible and this will stay online for as long as we want. So you can always catch up on this if you don't have time to watch everything. So today we're going to talk about wood sourcing and wood packaging for beauty, and we want to see whether it's really truly sustainable. And we have with us Seiji from Pujala Sauce. And so my name is Eva, and I'm the founder of Resources, which is the platform that helps beauty brands understand sustainability and master sustainability. And today, Seiji, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us who you are and who Pujala Sauce is?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, thank you, Eva, for the invitation. It's a real pleasure. My name is Sergi Gonzalez. I'm sales director and marketing director at Pujolassos today. I've been working on the industry for like 15 years now. And Pujolassos is a family-owned company turning wood and making wood packaging, mainly for the beauty industry for 60 years now.
Very good. Thank you for coming with us today. So we have a few questions. So there's a lot of like controversy about wood, saying that like, is it really sustainable to source wood because you actually cut trees, etc. So can you tell us more about the process of wood sourcing for Pujala Sauce, and how far are you going to take the wood? What's the transformation process? Can you tell us more about all of this to tell us whether this is actually sustainable?
Definitely. So when you have wood as a main material, there are different things that you need to consider. First thing is that wood it's an alive material. So definitely it's a fact that you need to cut trees. We have 2 seasons during the year in order to do that, basically. So forecasting is something really, really important in terms of procurement. Definitely all the sourcing that we do today, it's made in Europe. Basically, it's done in Spain, Portugal, and France, I would say. And I gotta say that the most important thing that we have said about sourcing is that all the sourcing we do, it's certified, meaning that we use either FSC or PEFC certification.
And what does that mean when it's a certified PFC and FSC? Can you tell us a bit more? Because I think you have restriction about how you source wood, how you plant again. So can you explain a bit more about what it means?
Absolutely. So these certifications that are FSC, for example, I would say that maybe it's a little bit more famous, but they certify the same, which is the traceability of the wood since the forest until the final product, meaning that the custody chain of the material is secured. This is maybe the reason why the certifications are most known, but it's not the only thing that they are ensuring. They ensure biodiversity on the forest. They ensure how the wood is planted, and most important, they definitely ensure that the wood that it's cut is reforested.
Yes. Okay, understand. I wanted to ask as well, because wood, is transformed, etc. But by nature, wood is biodegradable because it can get degrade naturally in nature. So, how do you work on the transformation process to ensure that it stays like this? Like, is it something that you make sure that it works like this for wood? It doesn't change the composition of wood, I guess.
Absolutely. I mean, we work out the raw material itself. Our suppliers basically receive or cut directly the trees, and then form them in bars that we receive as a raw material. So we use the bars or the slabs basically in raw, just to go directly on the machine, I would say. The only treatment that we need to do on the wood is to dry it down, because the wood, once it's cut, it's really, really humid, and we need to manage it in a humidity level around 8 to 10 degrees, I would say, and this needs to be done artificially.
Yeah. Okay. I understand. And so does it mean like when you transform the wood, you make sure that there's no plastic or no heavy decoration for sustainability at the end of life as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. And then we wanted to talk about luxury as well, and the fact that we live in a beauty and cosmetics, and we're all about luxury, fragrance, and durable. So can you tell us more about what's the innovation process to ensure that wood is still luxury? How has it evolved in the recent years?
I mean, there's a lot to say here because I remember, for example, 8 years ago when I started at Pujolasos, wood was really well considered by niche brands due to its flexibility, meaning that we were able to give custom made products in a low customization cost, I would say,
Yeah,
and well perceived because the material itself was perceived as luxurious, remains us to this artisan feeling, natural feeling, etc. Uh, Today, with the years, we see that all industry has a different approach to wood. It's true that sustainability one of the key points for us it's one of the best add values that we can give to the market and to the packaging teams, the brands, etc. But we see the new generations are valuing uh, not only for the wood as a material, but generally in packaging,
yeah,
sustainability, new materials as an alternative. For example, we have launched very recently uh, with by Killian this new reference, the Angel's Share. It's an extremely luxurious item that has put all its bet on wood and cork, one of our innovations, in order just to give to the market a new sensation on the top of the range that they have today.
can we see a bit more how this is made? Is the cork insert inside, so to make sure that it
Yeah.
fits with the cap? Yeah,
So basically, it's the regular range, but in this case, we have a wood cap, completely 100% wood cap made on oak, of course, certified with a plaquette insertion. And then we don't have any plastic insert. We have a cork insert. It's one of our patents. It's work. And
yeah.
basically, with the plastic by the cork insert.
Yeah, and I can see the natural grain of the wood and the natural defect, like effect of the wood inside. And if you look at the bottom as well, and
Yeah.
I would say like 5 years ago, this was impossible to see because people were looking like for perfection and like sleek packaging. But I think now we're moving into like showing that it's actually a natural product. Is this something that brands are more willing to see? Have you seen this evolution as well? In Because for me, I think we're entering the era of perceptible and visible sustainability.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's important. I mean, I remember 8 years ago making sales and being asked to have a production with exactly all the wood caps with exactly the same veins. This was a common question, maybe unreal now, but it was a common question back in the days. So these have evolved. People is now chasing authenticity. People is now chasing naturality, and of course, with the natural material, we will have defects. It's part of the beauty of the material. It's defects and uniqueness of each piece.
Yeah, I agree. I really think that we're moving into like a more like visible sustainability because people think that companies are doing greenwashing, and so the way to show that we don't do greenwashing is actually demonstrating by the product that the product is actually sustainable. So, and would you say that this has evolved? Do you have any other example of innovation for sustainability and luxury? Because this is an example here for Baclean. I know you work with Loewe as well and other brands. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, here, for example, I have a reference from the Body Shop, just on the opposite of by Killian,
yeah,
and it isn't exactly the same. So they have a wood cap. It's pretty simple with a laser engraving, but they still have a cork insert. The reason why it's exactly the same, they want to be sustainable. They want to run away from a plastic insert, which is glued to a secondary component. So what I want to say with this is that we can have solutions for extreme luxurious brand, for a more masstige or mass market brand. So at the end of the day, we can be very flexible in the offering that we do.
I wanted to ask as well, how do you design your innovation? Do you have in-house design studio? Do you come with innovation, you show innovation to the brands, or is it more like brands coming to you say, we have this request, this demand, can you do this for us? How does innovation works with us, with wood?
We have built up our way on innovation and on the promotion of the material itself. So basically, we are very proactive on innovation. We have our own innovation department, which is completely related with the new developments department. So we try to have innovation that it's very sticking to the reality of the needs of the market. That's why new developments and innovation team it's mixed. And yeah, basically we work out our proposals in our vision of where the packaging industry is going or needs to go. We try to be brave in our proposals. At the very beginning, 8 years ago, we started with something very simple. Let's try just to run away from plastic, reduce gluings, etc. And
Yeah.
today we are one step forward for new materials that can just expand our portfolio of materials.
Yes, I understand. Okay. And you also have technical team working with the design studio as well, or the design team, to make sure that whatever design you have in mind works in the factory, because you need to be able to industrialize your proposals, right?
Yes, I mean, wood is very flexible as a material, meaning that we can have industrial pieces, custom-made pieces with a really low budget or investment. This is helping us in our innovation process because we can try to industrialize whatever idea we have in a time to market that it's really really fast and with a low budget. This means that when the innovation team comes with an idea, or our agency comes with an idea, which is Activa Design, uh, or a customer comes with an idea, we can test this idea quite fast and in a really low budget. This is something that
And
it's because companies have a lot of great ideas, but then when it comes to maybe build up a mold or something like this and the timings, etc., it can be a handicap or a constraint.
I guess you don't have to do 3D printed, because you can actually do this from the wood, right? You can cut the wood in your design studio without having to do 3D printing, right?
It depends on how anxious the team is to see results, because I gotta say that we do a lot of 3D printing
Ah, okay.
because it's like, I mean, it's like hours. But yeah, we still use it. We still use it, but nothing like having a real piece on your hands.
Yes. And going back to the concept of luxury and wood, do you, because we know we tend to see a lot of metallization and decoration in packaging. So do
Mhm.
you address this question with clients as well? Say, like, if you want to have wood, it's good to keep the natural frame of the wood, the natural coloring of the wood. Has this evolved over years as well, where it was basically you had like basic wood before and now it's more decorated, or it was more decorated, heavily decorated before, it's more simple now? So can you tell us about this as well? Because we talked about the grain, the wood, and the natural aspect. I want to know if
Mhm.
this has really shifted in the industry and how decoration, because if you want to keep wood recyclable at the end of life, or at least biodegradable, you can't decorate it too heavily, right?
So basically, I mean, we can lacquer it, and if we lacquer the wood, which is necessary to protect it, we are not compromising its biodegradability. When it comes to metallization, etc., it is definitely. So we try to be as clean as possible, which is normally the reason why the customers come to us to or looking for wood. It was common maybe at the very beginning to receive inquiries of heavy decorations, etc. But I think that now the market is more addressed to going simpler in terms of
Yeah.
design, more sleek in terms of design, and it just shows how the looks conception it's changing too, or at least it's diversifying, I would say. What I want to say is that, as you know, 10 years ago, heavy pieces, very shiny, cold effect, click on effects, all this was straight related to looks. And it is still today, honestly. But we see some brands that try to propose looks as something different.
Yeah.
And this is extremely interesting for us, and we want to really push on this direction where the looks conception it's more eco-based, and it's more facing a new era where the important thing is the sourcing of the material. The important thing is the aspect, the natural aspect, and the responsibility behind the design.
Yes, and I think you struggle a bit less to sell this kind of concept now, right? It's less of a fight. People understand that it's important now to be truly sustainable, right?
Yeah,
Or
I mean, I gotta say that we are on a sweet moment, and the times to come, I think that are yet better. But we have suffered to make the market understand which was our proposal, that was genuine, that was real, and that was really, really determined not to change. Because it's true that you want to sell time to time, and then you need to sell, and this means that you
You need to
may
adapt.
compromise. But we have been strong enough there.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Can you tell us more about the new innovation coming in? Because I know you've developed new insert, like the one I saw at Lux Pack last year. Can you show us like maybe a different type of innovation that you've done with Pugilasis over the years and where you
Yeah,
are heading?
I mean, basically, I gotta say that the innovation that it's been working for the last 5 years, the better for us. It's the work where we substitute, as I said, the plastic insert by a cork insert. This has been extremely successful. Then we went for cosmetics. Basically, we went to solutions where the customers were telling us, okay, we still need, for example, a plastic insert in order to avoid any compatibility issues or to maintain certain functionalities that we want for our product, but we still want to have a wood cap. So we launched Woodle, that was basically the capacity to have a plastic insert, as you see here on this cap. But once the life cycle of the product comes to the end, we can just peel it off like this to recycle the plastic part and to detach to the organic bin the wood component. We don't have any gluing, and we have a patent there too. So this means that at least we still have a solution in between a monomaterial and a completely plastic cap, for example. Apart from that, we saw that the market was demanding monomaterials as an option. This was a trend at the beginning, started by the plastic industry, just to make easier the. But then on every briefing we were uh, assisting, question was asked, and what about wood? What about monomaterial, etc.? So we launched Woodigen, that has gone through several revisions and several improvements through the years, or through the last 2-3 years, and we have now this
Yeah.
option where we don't have any plastic insert, any cork insert, so it's
Is there
monomaterial
still a
in.
clip-on effect, right? Is there still like a clip-on effect on the when you put it on the top of the cap?
That's it. Since the wood is not extremely flexible, as you know, we had to do these recesses in order to help the piece to flex on the color on the of the cap.
Of the fragrance, okay. And again, there's a clip, and there's like a because there's this effect that people want to know that it's actually secure on the top of the bottle.
Uh,
So
We can guarantee pull forces like we do with the plastic.
yeah, yeah, very good. And I think I want to explain to everybody that's why we have an insert into the caps, whether it's plastic cap or any cap, because we want to make sure that it's safely like clicked on into the top of the bottle. So that's why this is important to have a plastic insert. And now they've been able to do this with Coke or other things. And I know you're working on new innovations. You have a new partnership now that you've announced 2 weeks ago, right? Do you want to tell us more about this?
Absolutely, this is extremely exciting for us. Honestly, we have been. I mean, we're a family-owned company, as I said. We have been turning wood for almost 60 years now. And 2-3 years ago, when all the management team were seated together and trying to understand where the company was going for the next 10 years, we understood that we want to keep offering to the market sustainable solutions that can transform the packaging industry. But we understood at the same time that with the wood, we will have certain limitations. So we started to think on the need of adding other materials to our portfolio in order to continue the journey that we started like 8 years ago. And that's we were in conversations with a lot of companies, with a lot of startups, but we found a jewel near our place in Barcelona, a biotechnology company that it said Biotech, which basically it's doing bioplastics, which are already
Yeah,
existing on the market as a concept, I would say. But the interesting thing is that they come from the organic waste. Basically, they have a process where the yeast of the production of beer in order to train some bacteria and transform these yeast into bioplastic. This bioplastic is bio from the origin and it's bio at the end of life. This means that it's not, with the degradation, it's not leaving any microplastics, and it means that it's biodegradable. So we can claim either home compostability or industrial compostability, depending on the formulation that we are doing.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's really interesting. And can you show us the example, or like, does it mean you can mold this product now? It's not just like you don't cut because wood, you have to cut, right? And you have to. This
Yeah.
one is moldable. Is it injection molding or?
It's injection molding. You need to think on any plastic cap that you have today in PP or PE, because we are bringing into the market formulations in bio-based formulation that will be PP alike or PE alike. We are now on the first step because we just signed our agreement like 2 weeks before the PCD. This
Yeah.
means that just developing phase one of the partnership that will be ambitious, I would say. We launch 5 standard shapes for perfumery at the moment in order to start giving to the market examples of what it's possible, and of course will still be available as a custom made development too.
Yes, I wanted to ask you because are you packaging right now your solution like custom made or standard only, or is it both? Do you do both, like standard and custom made, depending on the need for the client, I guess?
Honestly, I gotta say that at least we hybrid standards. This means that 90%, 95% of what we do is custom made.
It's custom
What
made, okay. Yeah.
very flexible, as I said. So everyone wants to have its touch on the piece, maybe changing a little bit, one millimeter here, 1 millimeter there, whatever, because these kind of changes are very flexible for us.
Yeah. And do you think there's a question here from Sarah? Thank you, Sarah. Do you think that a more cosmetics brand, because you mostly work on fragrance right now, because it's easier, it's caps, etc. Do you think on the packaging side, cosmetics are going to be more interested into wood? Because we've seen some wood caps and mostly bamboo sometimes caps actually on cosmetics. Do you think this is going to grow into the industry in general, not just in fragrance?
I think yes. I think that brands are braver and braver in order to add new materials. It's true that in perfumery, it's easier to adopt wood because the cap is always a complement that it's very very important. When it comes to cosmetics, we have brands like Rituals, for example, that they have been doing wood for 20 years, which is really amazing. They have helped us a lot to open the market as an example of success, and to demonstrate that big volumes are possible, not only for niche brands, so for huge companies too. And yeah, I'm sure that for the next years we will be seeing new brands adding wood in the portfolio. For
Yeah,
monomer,
that's why the fact that you have your cap, the cap that you showed us with the plastic insert, works for cosmetics because it's compatible with formulas, etc. And so you have
absolutely.
the ability to show this. I've seen all the innovations over the years. We've only seen 2 or 3 there, but there's more to see. I think for me, what I like about wood, I think it's truly sustainable. And people say it's not recyclable because there's no recycling stream in the market, but I think it's a silly question to think about this recyclability of wood, because wood technically, if it's 100% wood or if you have cork with it within it, etc., even if it goes into a bin and it doesn't get recycled, it degrades naturally anyway. So
Uh,
and that's what you're doing with the biobase as well. You picked a biobase material because it's going to biodegrade naturally as well, even if it's not recyclable technically, right?
yeah, our approach to sustainability it's always been to create it's already sustainable and responsible since the beginning, since its conception. This means that it's not that I'm not trusting on the final customer, but we all know that we can control what they will do with even with a recyclable cap. We don't know if they will recycle it or not, or if we'll finish in
Yeah,
landfill
true.
or so. Definitely we try to focus on a responsible design and a responsible conception of a final product. And we are helping brands to do this. That's why it's true that we can't recycle wood, but we can't recycle a cork stopper either. And it's
Yeah, yeah,
not a problem because we all have understood since the very beginning that we don't need to do that. We have so internalized that we need to recycle packaging that we are not thinking that maybe we can create packaging that don't need to be recycled. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. That's why I think when someone say, "Yeah, but wood is not recyclable, you have to burn it," yeah, but yes, but technically, if it ends up in a black bin, like in the regular bin and in a landfill, it will degrade naturally. It wouldn't be toxic. So, or if it ends up in anyway, it wouldn't be toxic. So I think it's interesting. And really, what I want to say, I've seen the evolution of wood in the beauty industry. There was heavy decoration initially, and now it's less and less heavily decorated. It's more natural because I think brands see the value of like showing a natural product in its natural environment, kind of, and demonstrating that this is just wood. You can touch and feel this is wood. There's nothing else to say. You don't need to market it any heavily because people can just see. So, what do you hope the future of your industry or your part of the beauty is?
Generally, I really wish that we all, because at the end we all participate on this nice industry, we all keep pushing to have greener products, responsibly sourced, and definitely to start talking about sustainability not as a marketing tool, but as a reality. That's it.
Yes, I agree. I like what you say. Okay, I think we have a good rounded webinar right now. I don't have any more questions. I think we don't have any more questions online, so we're gonna leave it like this. So, thank you very much, Sergi. And I guess if people have any questions, they can come to you directly. You can find
Sure.
Pujalas on LinkedIn and anywhere else. And I would say on resources, we've also written some things about wood, and notably we talked about paperboard and the wood of sourcing for paperboard because paperboard uses heavily wood, more heavily than actually what you're doing. And it's interesting to understand that wood sourcing is always like circular. And a good information to know, do you know that from 1980 to today, there's actually 20% more forest ground in Europe because we've been able to
Yeah.
save more forest and to replant. And so there's 20% more forest in Europe than there was like 40 years ago. So I think
Yeah.
it's a big
Yeah.
deal. And your kind of company are contributing to that, and that's the FSC and PFC are contributing to this, right?
Yes, definitely, they are contributing a lot. I mean, of course, in the European Union, there are a lot of regulations that promote reforestation and help these two certifications to promote it. Of course, the abandon of agriculture has helped a lot, but the politics of the European Union, in order to promote reforestation and to take care of our forest, are key for these key
Yeah.
figures. Definitely.
Yes, and something to finalize as well. We did a research on biodiversity, and I want to say that as well in the FSC and PFC certification, biodiversity is really important. The fact that you don't have like the same type of wood in over 5 kilometers of ground, but everything is mixed up, and you still keep like all the wood and you ensure reforestation, but like without destroying completely one part of the forest. So I
Mhm.
think it's really important to talk about biodiversity as well because this is what makes the wood strong and our environment stronger as well.
Yeah, in order to take, I mean, as a forest, in order to take a certification, FSC or PEFC, biodiversity, it's obliged, meaning that monocultive, it's banned. You don't get that certification if you do
Yeah,
monocultive.
there you go. You just confirm what I thought. Thank you very much, Saji, and thank you everyone for listening to us. This is available on YouTube as well and on LinkedIn as many times as you want to watch it again or to send it to colleagues. But wood is very like sustainable, and I think it's a good way to make something technically and visibly sustainable when you talk about beauty and sustainability. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Saji.
Thank you, Eva. Take care.